I was just having
a day.
Yeah, I was having a day, and he told me that night before we went to bed, you have to
Define what makes you happy.
What ultimately came to define Micheline Cummings' happiness is, ironically, the same thing that came to define a lot of our happinesses over the past few months, and it's this, a Shuga Pie. Okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning on desolate Deer Park Avenue here in Babylon Village, and we are here because these are baker hours. Doesn't it bother you, though, that you have to bake all of this elsewhere? What is it, 10 miles away? Schlep it all the way over here?
Oh, it bothers me to no end. You do what you do to make it happen and do what, keep the business going.
It's no secret that many of the food world's guiltiest pleasures were created by accident. Chocolate chip cookies, potato chips, champagne, and now you can add sugar pies to the list. They're made right here at this co-op kitchen in Amityville.
So Scott, do you like getting up this early in the morning, or?
I love to bake, Terry, but, there are limits.
Cummings and Terry Haughy have been partners in life and business for decades, but neither one of them saw this one coming.
It wasn't even a product we were making, so we had no idea what people were talking about.
A small part of this story is that you are wedding cake bakers.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
So when a cake domes up at the top, you can't use it in
You
that
just
form.
cut it off.
You'll
Cut
have
it
an
nice and
avalanche.
level, yeah.
Right. So you would shave off those domes.
And we'd usually toss it.
And a friend of ours was talking with us. His eyes were tracking the chocolate cake. So she just put a little cream in it and gave it to him. And he went out in the middle of the road and said, everybody needs to get these. He was just goofing off. But then that whole week, people would come in and say, I just wanted to get a small cake.
Baking is done, but the cakes still need to be frosted. For that, they head back to Babylon.
Here it is, just 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're still not done. For a long time, sugar pies were just a fun side hustle for the couple. It took the combination of a pandemic and the collapse of their wedding cake business for them to go all in with sugar pies. But go all in they did, opening the Shuga Pie Shop here in a nondescript alleyway with a Mexican restaurant on one side and a fitness center on the other. Now this is my next question.
So
Are we on schedule? I have this terrible feeling that there's gonna be like an ambush of people showing up, and you're gonna be drizzling, and
Is that what you're trying to do?
it's getting in her head.
Despite being open just 3 days a week, the shop has been a runaway success. Sometimes Micheline and Terry sell an entire day's worth of sugar pies in less than 2 hours.
Hello, 4 boxes altogether? You got it. Give me 1 second, I'll get that for you.
He handles customers, and my goal is basically to just make as many sugar pies as possible.
So for people who've never had a sugar pie, some people, believe it or not, have never had one, what's so great about them?
They're like 2 cakes, and then you have the frosting in the middle.
What's your favorite flavor?
Strawberry lemonade.
Probably Death by Chocolate.
Death by Chocolate. And you got one from your mom in there too,
Yeah,
right?
I got her one of the rainbow one.
The Funfetti is like Twinkies.
It's like
That's a Long Island favorite.
Oh god! You will never taste anything like them anywhere else.
Is that gonna make it home, or are you gonna eat it before you get there?
I probably am going to eat it right now during this interview.
They're big.
Yeah.
And the price, it's unbelievable.
Everybody has a treat now. So everybody has a party, everybody has a special event. It's called living and being alive in the pandemic and giving yourself a little bit of a treat, because you gotta.
It's quite a comeback story. And financial hardship isn't all that Micheline and Terry have come back from.
6 years ago, Micheline was involved in a devastating car accident. She sustained multiple injuries, and her recovery is still ongoing.
I was in a head-on collision, and it caused a bunch of injuries, including a traumatic brain injury. Fine motor skills, I had to work on fine motor skills, so sculpting with fondant and gum paste helps you work on your fine motor skills. Also spatial awareness. I remember I had a four-tier cake in front of me, and I went to reach past it, but I was still having vision issues, and I punched the top tier, and I got...
You got angry at a cake, what are you gonna do?
And I was just like, I just finished it.
For a time, she lost the ability to visualize cakes in her head. No small liability when your entire job is conceiving and executing one-of-a-kind wedding cakes. In fact, her enthusiasm for all baking began to wane, and only returned when she shifted her focus to sugar pies.
At the end of all of that, realizing that my brain could still function and think and produce thoughts was just an incredible feeling.
All of the, what do you call them, rounds, tops and bottoms? What do you call this part?
Cake?
Micheline says she has Terry to thank for restoring her health and Shuga Pies to thank for restoring her love of baking. And the rest of us have her to thank for producing what is, to my mind at least, an irresistible new treat.
Sugar pies didn't necessarily change who I am. I think everything about me changed, and sugar pies just, they make me happy.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with, hey, you
They make
found
me
what
happy.
makes you happy. Look at
Yeah,
that.
hey, look at that.